entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Vincent Brucker, Vinny Brucker, and
I'm Kevin Ford.
And we're from Vinto Van Go, Chicago's psychedelic garage music.
Nice. I love it. Such a great name as well. I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning charts our trajectory in life. A little habits that we pick up along the way follow us into our adulthood. So tell me a little bit about your childhood, briefly, and how was music always the the way for you guys?
Kevin, why don't you start since
I started playing piano when I was a little kid. My mother got a piano. I remember when I was maybe 4 years old or something, and I thought it was cool. And used to bang around on it, and she's like, I'm going to give him keyboard lessons. And I guess that's what kicked it all off for me. But she also used to put these giant headphones on my little head and play records like Cat Stevens and Elton John and
Amazing
stuff like that. And I would just be like mesmerized, like taken to another place,
Absolutely.
I remember I did not come from a musical family, though we are now because everyone has caught the bug. But as children, we were very non-musical. Neither of my parents played any instruments. We had none in the house. And so in first grade, I had my music classes, and I don't really remember it, but I do know this fact, that the way I would act and sing and dance to the music during music class prompted our music teacher to bring my parents in to show them my enthusiasm for music. And it took a while because my parents were hesitant, but by fourth grade, I'd finally gotten them to buy me a guitar. So I struggled to want to be able to play by not having those instruments. And then once I got it, I've never let go. I love playing the guitar.
That's incredible. Would you guys say that you're living your purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like it, I guess.
I love that.
Well, while we are musicians who love playing live and are out on the scene quite a bit,
yeah,
we're not, we even play with side acts all over the place and other main performance groups. But where we really have a home is this studio that you can see here, this board right here, this room here in Chicago. And we've really formed this place into a clubhouse that, we must have a purpose because we built ourselves a church, Kevin built this studio, and I've made it a vital part of my life to attend it.
Vinny is a cherished regular of the studio.
Yeah.
Right? And he's one of the smart people that knows you should go every week.
Yeah.
And just make a habit of being in the studio, and things will happen. You'll get things done. You'll improve at what you're doing. It's good to have that consistent creative flow, and Vinny's definitely got that going for him.
I love that.
I figured that out when we first started recording here, like a lot of musicians do. And they just, all right, we have 3 hours. How many songs can we get recorded? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being able to make it a home means you're not under any of that time pressure. And instead you're focusing on the actual thing that is the creative process. What do I want to do today? What kind of thing can I play with today?
I love that. That's beautiful. And you guys come, Chicago. I mean, it's like one of the greatest artists come from Chicago. Music is ingrained in Chicago.
Yeah. And we have, we're surrounded in our scene here in Chicago with songwriters too. It's incredible. Just this week at the fest down the block from here, Natalie Bergman from Wild Bell played.
Nice.
Neighborhood in the bars that we hang out. We have
Nice.
John Langford and the Waco brothers and of the Mekons in town. We have a city that likes writers too. And that's kind of, I throw that out there because that's kind of who I am too. I write the lyrics for the songs, and I see myself as contributing into this band significantly because of the writing.
That's awesome. So, what was the first moment in the studio when you realized Hot Pants Boots was pure magic?
Oh, we we made that the party in the play in there. Yeah. Uh, that does get thrown over to the fact of what Kevin is. Kevin's not just keyboardist; he's the producer. So
Nice.
he's sitting in front of what we call the template at all times, and like a conductor in front of a symphony. He's like, okay, something can go here. Oh, we've got some room for something here. You know, I'm sitting there thinking, I want this song on the radio. Let's not go over 3 and then 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use all that time then and how to bring it up. So hopefully as you hear it, you notice some different sounds are always happening and you're like, well, how did that happen? It seems if that was the question you're asking, because you hand someone the authority to do that.
There were moments, there were opportunities to have fun with the song. I remember, well, Vinny's good at giving us kind of a story, kind of like a subtext that goes along with the song.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of tell us like, this is my idea. These are my visuals. I'm picturing, you know, these people out on the town, you know, and they end up in jail basically is kind of what happens. And just kind of a wild night of partying and all that. And so, you know, there was a moment when Ann was doing her vocals and we're like, let's record like 3 or 4 Anns, you know, and they're all different characters. They're all the different women, you know, that are out in this raucous party of ladies out in the town. And so there's that to it. I forget at some point the chant, you know, that's at the beginning and the end of the song just kind of popped into somebody's head. I forget.
Yeah,
but
Ann came up with that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Ann came up with that. And so, you know, and that beat, it was kind of very quickly came together, I would say, for this.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sounds, right? Like what was one of the weirdest sounds that or instruments that made it into the final mix?
I think you might be mentioning what the space monk is. You want to tell them what a space monk is?
That's the well, there's an instrument called a mellotron. Everybody knows the mellotron from the beginning of Beatles, that flute sound.
Oh yeah.
But it's in all kinds of recordings. It basically I don't want to bore too much with the technology details, but it's one of the first samplers, kind of. We're talking like 1960, you know.
Wow.
And it played tape loops. You press a key and it would play a loop of a tape. You know, say it was a flute, somebody would actually, there was a flutist that recorded that note.
Wow.
And each of the notes on the keyboard is a separate recording of an actual flute being played. So, and it has all these sounds on it. Anyway, so they have these vocal sounds, these choral sounds, or these, you know, there's one that's like male voice and like boys choir and like all that. So I coined the term, I think, space monks to kind of cover all of those voice sounds.
Yeah.
You know, and you just add trippy effects to them and stuff. So every once in a while, it's kind of a Vinto Van Go trademark.
I never write.
Space monk.
I never write for the space monks. When we're laying down basic tracks, you don't play with the space monks.
Yep.
And then somewhere in the stages of always being able to be in the clubhouse, the space monks make their appearance.
They're like a frosting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a frosting guy.
Love that.
I sit and contemplate. You know, I listen to what everybody's doing. I listen to the bare bones of the song, and I go, "Does this one need space monks, or you know, a cello or something?" Or, you know, I don't know. You know.
Then when we know we got the space monks, pretty close to being done with it.
Are you passionate about film and in-depth conversation? Look no further. MVB Films Productions now offers exclusive access to unedited, unfiltered interviews and film content through our Patreon. Join for just $5 a month and unlock candid commentary, behind-the-scenes footage, and projects you won't find anywhere else. Hosted by Meosha Bean of Creator to Creators, this membership gives you a front row seat to the creative process. Become a member today. Patreon.com//Meosha Bean Official.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What you said, you know, writing is your thing. So like, I mean, you know, I have a background in film, and so I'm a super like perfectionist. And so I'm curious, when you're writing a song, or, you know, coming up with the idea, how do you know, like, okay, it's final, it's complete? Because, you know, you can keep building, you can add on. How do you know to like stop yourself to
You're right. You do have to stop yourself. The French poet Paul Valéry said a poem is never finished written; it's only abandoned.
Right.
Uh, One of the things that happens with songwriting when you're not going to sing the songs themselves, and
Yeah.
Ann Filmer's got great theater talent. She's a director and actor with great dance experience in theater. So she knows how to come and take the part of it. And so I think for me, it's collaborative. It's when the band has owned it enough
Yeah.
that it's no longer just my song that I wrote. It's their song too, because they've written it. And what they've written now has made it so, okay, there's not much more room for my, reinvention here, because I'm working with something that's already being developed. And that's something you wouldn't get, or Paul Valéry would have gotten from writing a poem, which is the fact that, when you write for music in Copperhead, that woman, Dory, she's Dory's song. So, I mean, and you can go through all the other vocals too. I think I'm trying to find really strong characters in my life, and that's how the songs are coming out for the second album, because they're being written for Anne's voice.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I have a fun question that I like asking every
Okay.
guest, and there is no wrong answer, I promise.
Okay.
The three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose, and why? Money, power, and respect.
I'll speak for both of us, saying we haven't made choices for the first two, but we've made so many. And his talent and the way he takes care of music,
Mhm.
it's definitely important doing things that are of high quality. And we talk about it all the time. And I hear him in his jazz band, I hear him in his Afrobeat ensemble. This is a guy who's looking for quality over here. And so I think that fits more under the res part, right?
Yeah, I love that. Great answer.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah,
say
good
like
answer, Kevin. Yourself.
would you guys say that right? Would you say that the music world, I mean, obviously now everything is so saturated, you know, being indie artist, it's kind of difficult to get your music out because you're
Mhm.
going against these big labels or conglomerates. What's something that keeps you going, you know, and keep pushing, even though, yeah, it's saturated, but, you know, getting your work out there.
Well, we have an audience here in Chicago that keeps us going.
Great.
We play for them. We know them. Well, they're not our fans. They're clearly our friends. And one of the fun things about putting yourself out there, like we're about to go on tour, was our last rehearsal before the tour begins, and the concept of going on this tour is so that when we come back home, we're going to be even better the next time they see us, because we're
Right.
going to have more experience. And I think that maybe my relationship with you, Kevin's always been based on knowing that I had something to learn from you. And so that whatever I'm doing isn't about trying to compete with that other market. It's about like, all right, where am I and what can I do
Yeah.
and what can I learn?
Yeah, we all learn from each other. I think I mean, I think the process of making the music in itself is very rewarding as well. I think especially working in the studio where you can really craft what you're doing and really bring the idea to life, you know, there's just
Yeah.
there's something so rewarding about that. I almost think nothing's almost nothing's going to be better than that feeling than when it really connects with a crowd of people,
Yeah.
if you're
Right.
lucky enough for that to happen.
Mhm.
And then it's just a real culmination of all those things. And it's you know, it's not about being famous and rich so much, I think, as it is just those moments when it's like, wow, that was like, you know, something cool happened. Life was happening there, you know, that was an experience. Like
It
that's
wasn't
always the
there
best part
before,
of it.
and then now it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
right,
didn't have that
exactly.
memory before, and now we own that memory.
Yeah, yeah. And Vinny's, you know, his songs are these worlds into themselves, and so there's just a whole kind of journey involved with all of them, you know, stories and
Yeah,
feelings and stuff and vibes, and
which is a
you know,
cool.
hot pants boots is a party. It's kind of a
Yeah,
fun party song, but there's other songs that are more serious, and yeah, it depends.
But I
yeah,
really like Hot Pants because it's such a crazy time that we're living in. I feel like we need something like escapism, something to get away
yeah.
from all the negative things that you see in the news.
Yes, let's have some summer fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about celebrating losing control a little bit,
Hmm.
you know, and maybe or maybe not getting metaphorical, but you know, just totally letting go and enjoying yourself.
Yes, becoming,
Yeah.
which is what
Absolutely.
creativity is all about. Becoming. That's what life's personal journeys mean. Like, what are you becoming now?
Yeah. I love that. When you hit a creative block, what's your ritual for breaking out of it?
Well, I, I think I can't say that the creative block is something that would happen. I could just say, "Oh, I'm not writing a song today, but I
Yeah.
have something to work on." So it's like, as a writer's point of view, is if you have the desk and if you sit at the desk, perhaps something happens. If I know once a week we're going to be sitting at this desk
Yeah.
and looking at these boards, we need something for it. So that those creative blocks when they happen, or when you're just not being as creative with new songs,
Hmm.
it's a perfect opportunity then to be working on the things we've already gotten. And perhaps because I'm not as rushed with that, I don't feel like, and there's a lot of work about sharing my stuff with the band, that I don't feel as intimidated about. I'm just like, it'll come. I'll just
Yeah.
stay here at desks, and there'll be something will happen.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a session where we were like, "What are we gonna do?" You know?
Love
I mean,
that.
this guy's always got new music. Since I met him, he's just always been working on new stuff. So yeah, if it's not a new song that we're kind of building the structure for or something like that, it's finishing what we've already got. And yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
all the things
awesome.
we can do.
Definitely. Do you guys, I mean, obviously, now we're living in a time of AI. A lot of people hate this question because they're just like, AI, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Some people are afraid of it. Some people embrace it. How do you guys feel about AI and, how it applies to music world in the future?
Oh wow. I'm gonna leave this one for him as a producer, because they're building the AIs for guys like him.
Trying to steal my job, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Um, they'll never do it. All
Right.
kidding. No, there are some things like I noticed with mastering for one, which is the process of taking like so you have a song, you have something that you mixed in your computer or whatever, you know, anybody. And there are sites that you can use AI to get it mastered, which is where you make it, you know, loud enough to be played on Spotify and everything. It kind of um, you know, little problems, and if there's too much bass or too much treble or something in the song, or if it's, you know, just to get it to play up to spec. And that's a whole, I mean, mastering engineers are just disappearing, I
Oh,
think,
wow.
faster than anybody else in the industry because, you know, I still find them valuable personally, but there are
Yeah.
sites you upload your mix to and it just masters it for you,
Oh,
you know?
wow.
Um, but there are other things with AI that are actually really cool that you can use in the producing process. Like there's a program now that'll take a song, you can take a whole song and feed it into this, you know, AI based software, and it will separate all the parts of the music
Oh,
into
my
separate
goodness.
parts. So it'll take the bass track out of the song and
Yeah.
separate that and separate the drums and the vocals. And there's people that use that and then they'll do a remix of something that was recorded in like 1930 or whatever
Oh,
if you wanted to,
wow.
because it'll pull all the pieces of the song out and then you can, you know, manipulate, you
That
know,
is
just the beat
wild.
or do a new bass line. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. So there's many exciting things as there are, disappointing job losses, etc.
Yeah, job losses.
The 6-part series is a deeply moving audio docuseries that confronts the often hidden trauma inflicted by institutional religion, sharing stark, real stories like Shattered Faith, Voices Unheard, Preacher's Kid, and Unveiling Darkness. Inspired by Meosha's own loss and featuring testimonies from survivors and experts, this series not only exposes the wounds caused within sacred spaces, but also illuminates a path toward healing and reconciliation. Available now on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Bandcamp, and more. Church Hurt invites listeners to listen, understand, and heal.
Though for me, the writing part, which I know writers have to part of, any guild of writers, has to be really definite. But for what I'm after with what I'm writing, AI doesn't make as much sense anyway, because I'm trying to tell my stories,
Yeah.
And that is I think the thing that you'll see that AI fits into. It's to help us tell the stories, to be extensions of our stories, not to tell our stories for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of people are afraid, and I understand, and like you said, I like there are pros and cons to everything, right? And it's like I guess it's how you use them all. Um is there if another fun question like asking if there's a any artist living or dead that you guys could perform with, who would it be and why?
Oh, well, he already has performed with so many musical heroes. What might you say about that about who you've gotten to play with? And
I don't know. That's tricky. I mean, I've always liked. I mean, you could pick almost any instrument. A guitarist would be like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Because he just had something so unique, and his whole relationship with his instrument. I mean, it must have been just amazing to play with him because of his unique, energy and his just physical connection with every note he was playing.
Yeah.
There was just a fire in his music, but
I love the
I can
physical
think of some
connection
others too, but
physical connection to what he was playing. Yeah.
I'm always drawn to people that seem to be on their own wavelength with
Yes.
what they're doing in music.
Yes.
Some unique, it's like anybody can be good at fill in the blank, or something. But every once in a while you meet somebody that's got their own approach and you're like, this guy's doing something different,
Yeah.
Do you think they just tap into some like source? People that kind of get to that level, is it like a source they tap into? Because I don't know, it's something like it's like you said, Jimi Hendrix, or you can go down the list like a Michael Jackson or certain people that just kind of, I don't know, reach some level of
Yeah.
I mean, there was something to John Lennon, obviously, that it's like anybody around him just gained so much talent just by being around him. Every one of the Beatles wrote great songs. I mean, and maybe it wasn't just John Lennon. I mean, all those guys are talented in their own right too. But there's people that you wonder if I could work with this person and get some of that to rub off on me a little bit.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying there with Lennon is exactly it. Like, it isn't all of them. Who do you want to play with? I want to play with all of them, right?
Yeah.
But what really reinforces the creativity of a band is and why some of these people had it is because they were part of scenes and they had people around them. And I love that. I love that we're not teenagers and we don't play most of our concerts in would be it per se. And I love that right now there's a way to use rock and roll that isn't talking nothing against the Beatles,
Right.
but holding your hand, and there's a time now in the history of rock and roll where it doesn't have to be just about adolescent identity and maturity. And it can become about people who would say that's what it was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see so many people out there. I already mentioned a bunch of the Chicago and Jeff Tweedy, but there's a whole bunch of people out there in America right now who are writing and using rock and roll to communicate what it means to have lived in America these last many years that we have.
Yeah.
And I like that scene out there that there's rock and roll isn't just for kids anymore, and it's becoming a major vehicle for a lot of really mature literary like levels and high musical levels of the artistic creative journeys that we take through our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What advice would you give to those guys out there that are trying to, get their band out there or even start one?
Yeah, you have to get out there. That's the thing. And that's what everybody will say to you when you first do it. It isn't that they have to talk about whether you're great or not. You have to recognize what they'll see all the time is, gee, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's what was happening in first grade when my parents had to come to see the school and see what I was doing in music class.
Yeah.
They say, look, your boy's putting it out there. He's excited about music.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Um, Thank you guys for coming on, and it was just so awesome to hear the journey of it all. Do you guys have anything coming up? Any shows that you guys are gonna be doing and performing at?
Yes, July 25th at Buttonwoods Brewery in Providence, Rhode Island, just off the Brown University campus. And then we're on the Lower East Side next Saturday, July 26th, at the Parkside Lounge on Houston Street in New York City.
Awesome.
And then we'll be returning in the fall and playing shows around the Chicago area. And our big feature show this fall will be at the Cubby Bear on Saturday, October 18th.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I love having gigs too.
Love that. You guys are booked and busy. I love it.
Yes.
Um, any like, and I'm a kind of a quote kind of girl. I love
Okay.
quotes. Is there a quote that it could be, either one, that like a favorite quote that just kind of keeps you going on those hard days?
Hmm. I like that um, ability of all music to have those kinds of quotes. So I think what I do is I do that. I look for quotes. I never thought of it this way, Moesha, before, but when I'm picking music for my bike ride in the morning or in the car at some point, I probably am looking for some great quotes.
Yeah,
Today we were rehearsing our music, so it was our songs I was focused on.
love it. Love that. Well, thank you guys again. And and also, where can people find you guys on social media to follow everything you have going on?
All right, Vinto Van Go, Facebook, Vinto Van Go, Instagram, and we really use our Bandcamp as an introduction to our music. So all our songs, lyrics are posted there, plus little stories about them. And if there's a guest musician besides a space monk here or there, it mentions that there.
Nice. Well,
There's a time when the Space Monks did have names. There was a person that sang that,
Yes,
note.
we just never
We don't know their names.
They're out there in space.
out there in space. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.